Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, the good, the noble, the presumptuous, Dr. Yukon Suckit. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yukon Suckit. So tonight I am coming to you from my secret underground headquarters, and I am bringing to you a deck I found over on AetherHub. What is it called there? It's called the blunder-proof BANT, as though you can't make a mistake with it. It will just go awesome and be totally great for you. And we'll put that theory to the test. I just called it BANT. It's a nice, solid, standard deck. For those of you that do not know, BANT is one of the shards of Alara. Go look it up on the internet. And the colors associated with that particular domain is white, green, and blue. Anytime you put together a deck that's made up of white, green, and blue, you refer to it as a BANT deck. Now, I'm not exactly sure what this deck would be called otherwise. I guess, mid-range is because anything that's not something else is pretty much mid-range. Mid-range means that, you put down a nice ramp of mana. You kind of get to the middle of a gameplay in turn 4, turn 5, maybe 6. At which point you're putting down your big guys, and then the game's on until it's over. I feel like that's the way this deck's going to go, so we'll see. It's probably a good BANT mid-range deck. Let's take a look at the cards that are in here, and then we'll take it on the track, put it through a few loops, and see how well it does. At the lowest end here, we've got March of Otherworldly Light. So this guy is 1 mana and X. X is the mana value of an artifact, creature, or enchantment that you wish to exile. And if you need to hit higher than your ranking, you have the ability to exile any number of white cards from your hand. Each one you exile is 2 gray mana towards that X count. So you can go down on something big if you had to, provided you had enough white stuff in your hand to throw away. Let's see, we've got Jwari Disruption. So in reality, Jwari Disruption, you just got to think of it as a land, because if you need land, it's a land. Don't worry about the counterspell. Don't hold yourself back. Land ho, right? But if you happen to not need any land, then you can look at it as your counterspell in a pinch, because it's probably like the worst counterspell out there, where all they have to do is pay 1 extra mana to counter your ability to counter whatever they're trying to do. So it's a really, really horrible counterspell, but for a land, it's not so bad. We got 2 negates here. It looks like they're just 2 different sets. Same art and everything. Negate, counter target non-creature spell, costs you 2. I'm willing to go for that. When it comes to counterspells, great. That's a good one. We've got Suspicious Stowaway. So Suspicious Stowaway is a 1/1 for 2. It cannot be blocked. And whenever it deals damage to a player, you draw a card and then discard a card. So this is a card draw engine in the blue category. And it gets started and early, because only, you could basically be getting more stuff on turn 3. Eventually, day will become night and it'll wolf out. Still can't be blocked. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you still draw a card. Oh, but you don't have to discard it. So that's even better as a werewolf. And it does an extra point of damage. So this is a really great blue card if you got nothing better to do. I'm glad there's 3 of them in there. We got the Gala Greeters. And I always think that these guys are supposed to be some sort of demons or something. But he says he's an elf druid. Because, elves are traditionally blue with, whatever type of mustache beard combination that is. And it looks like horns on their head. Looks very elfy. And same with druids, because that's what druids do. They hang in front of buildings and with swords and say, hey, welcome to the party. Anyways, so he's a 1/1 for 2. But he's all chock full of tricks there, right? So whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can choose one of the following that hasn't already happened this turn. Put a +1 counter on this guy, create a tapped treasure token, or gain 2 life. So you get 3 other dudes to come into play. You can do all 3 of those things. You got a 4th guy. This guy doesn't do anything. Prosperous Innkeeper, welcome in. Take a seat. We'll get you some beer, right? Anyways, when he comes into play, you get a treasure token. When anybody else comes into play, you gain a life. This guy is, I used to really hate this guy. I thought that he was the devil. He's actually pretty decent now. I mean, if you got life gain going on, then it's, he's part of the problem. You got to wipe this guy out. If anybody's making use of it, then yeah, that's not, because you keep bringing dudes in, he keeps increasing life, those other things keep blowing up. Not good. We got the wedding announcement. Wedding announcement is just a great white card. The more you have out at any particular time, the better. So it's like a saga. There's generally 3 turns. On the first turn, in second turn and third turn, it tries to put out a 1/1 white human token. If you've attacked with 2 or more creatures on any of those turns, you draw a card instead. You either get a token or you draw a card. Well, all those are great. But on the third turn, it will transform into a glorious anthem, so all your creatures get +1/1. And so therefore your 1/1 white humans become 2/2s. And you'll have, 2, 3 of them, something like that. So it has the potential that you can put out a bunch of either speed bumps or sacrifice bait, or you can get yourself the start of a good proto army. One of those two. Like I said, the more you got out, the more dudes you put out, and the more glorious anthems you have up eventually, which makes your guys, all your guys, that much stronger. Wandering Emperor, you got the epic, the epic top of white control, all wrapped up in this planeswalker right there. Good thing is that she costs 4, but she's got flash. So as long as you got 4 mana left open, somebody does what it is you're looking to do is it's that bottom one, -2. Exile target tapped creature, you gain 2 life. So what you do is summon attacks, you flash out the Wandering Emperor, and then you use her -2 ability to kill whatever that creature is that you hate so badly, and you gain 2 life instead. At which point she's sitting there with a 1, but your turn will come up next, at which point you can put a +1 counter on some creature you control, at which point she becomes a 2. You got to protect her for a couple turns while you do that and pump her back up. But if she dies, whatever. You got what you needed out of her, which is exiling target tapped creature. All right, we'll move on. We got Esika's Chariot. So Esika's Chariot in here because Esika's Chariot is what I thought should have been banned a long time ago. But somehow Esika's Chariot managed to make it all the way through, because I doubt at this point they're going to ban Esika's Chariot. Even though, because we're coming into rotation and Esika's Chariot's going to be out coming September. But when this Chariot enters the battlefield, you create 2 2/2 green cat tokens. And to be able to activate this, you have to pay the crew cost, which is 4, which means you have to tap at least 4 power out on the thing, which coincidentally is what your 2 2/2 green cat token will do. Which means that you take these cat tokens, which don't look anything like those weird lion things, and you make them drive the chariot around. I don't know, maybe you're just strapping the cats to it and they have to actually drag it. And, you're just like letting them do whatever they want to do. Or they're like sitting back there, pulling on the reins. Anyways, when this thing attacks, you create a copy of a token that you control, which, could be a 1/1 dude, or who else is a good token you might control? Esika's Chariot or a Samurai. I guess this makes cats. You got 1/1s, cats, like a little samurai dude that's a 2/2. But who you really want to probably do is going to be Wrenn and Seven's Tree Folk, because their power and toughness is equal to the number of lands you control. So these guys are going to be beefy. They have reach, which will take care of flying guys. We'll get to him in a little bit. Anyway, so that copy ability is what makes Esika's Chariot so bad. So bad. Yeah, see, look at the cats over there next to the chariot. They look really menacing. Look at the cats over on the right. Now, he's got that kind of look in his eyes that makes me want to punch him in the face. But I'm not particularly threatened by that particular cat. All right, we got Doomskar. So finally, we got some more control. Between the negates, those are kind of half-assed controls. This one, kind of costs a little too much. Here's Doomskar. And the great thing is you can foretell it. You pay 2, at which point then it costs 2 less to play at some time in the future. It only costs you 3 rather than 5. So you can get these things all cocked up, ready to go, put them in exile. At that point, they can't even be discarded. And you're just ready to wipe the board when you feel like it. These things are going to save your bacon. Prep them, keep them ready, and use them to slow things down. Just make sure you don't commit overly to the board ahead of time. We got an Elspeth Resplendent in here. She costs you 5. She comes out with 5 loyalty. She has the ability to, for +1, you choose one target creature, you put a +1/+1 counter on it, and a counter from amongst the following: Flying, First Strike, Lifelink, or Vigilance. For -3, you can look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put a permanent card with a mana value of 3 or less from amongst them onto the battlefield with a shield counter on it. You put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. And what would it be a permanent would be? It would be like Wedding Announcement. Basically anything from here to the left. But it's Wedding Announcement, Suspicious Stowaway, Gala Greeters, or Prosperous Innkeeper. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the -3 ability on this one. -7, super cool. I've seen it happen before. Create 5 3/3 White Angel tokens. What's really nice is the Wedding Announcements have popped off as Glorious Anthems, and these things come out as 4/4s or 5/5s, depending upon how many things you got going on. And yeah, Angels are hard to deal with. Okay, Wrenn and Seven. We finally made it up to Wrenn here. So Wrenn, yeah, this is the way it always plays. It costs 5, you put it out. You immediately go for -3, putting out a Tree Folk token. Always. I mean, it's so... I've seen it one time before where someone started doing the +1s on it, but yeah. So you put out a Tree Folk, it drops you down to 2. So then you start revealing the 4 cards of your library, grabbing a bunch of lands, and trying to pump yourself up to ability where you can put out another Tree Folk. That's pretty much it. If you happen to have a ton of them in your hand, lands in your hands, you can use 0. Put a bunch out, which are going to make all your Tree Folks a lot stronger. -8 is return all permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. Get an emblem that says you have no maximum hand side. I'm not sure we really care about -8. It's pretty much just using Wrenn and Seven to pump out Tree Folks as much as you can there. We got an Avabruck Caretaker. And she's got a pretty little wolf cub there. She's a 4/4, cost you 6, but she has hexproof. And you generally don't see that anymore. It's a lot like Ward, except for there's no getting over it. It's just hexproof. No shooting her. She can't be targeted by any spells or abilities, meaning she's technically Planeskeeper proof. The only thing that could happen is that they might say you have to sacrifice something, in which case, if she's the only thing out, you would have to sacrifice her. But she is hard to get around. And the awesome thing about her is that when she, let's see, also on her regular ability as a woman there, at the beginning of your combat on your turn, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control. So she is a Luminarch Aspirant ×2, right? Just by default. So yeah, she's space awesome. And then she wolfs out occasionally, where she still has hexproof, but now she's a 6/6. And at the beginning of combat, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, which is insane. Insane! And all permanents you control have hexproof. All artifacts, enchantments, creatures, all permanents have, even planeswalkers cannot be targeted by spells or abilities. Suck it! I mean, she is such a fantastic card. And she's going to be with us until like next September. So she's doing good now. I expect her to be stronger and to be a big part of our future. And lastly, we got Koma, the Cosmos Serpent. When Koma came out, we all thought that was it. Koma is the way to go. This was going to be the ultimate card. Unfortunately, even though Koma cannot be countered, it is pretty easy to kill Koma otherwise. I mean, the deal is Koma gains indestructible till the end of the turn, provided you have a coil to sacrifice. But if they can get to it before it creates a coil, nothing you can do. Koma's dead. Indestructible does not protect against exiles. So anybody that can exile anything, Koma's gone. If it does Meathook Massacre, negative, Koma's dead. So there's lots of great ways to kill Koma. Koma does not live that long. But if you happen to get involved in a deck that has none of that ability, you're going to be in for the ride of your life. Koma is an amazing card. Because, let's see, it's a 6/6, and at the beginning of each upkeep, yours and your opponent's, you create a 3/3 blue Serpent creature token named Koma's Coil. And then at any point for no particular reason, you can sacrifice another Serpent, which is going to be one of those coils, and you can choose one of the following abilities. Tap target permanent, its active abilities cannot be activated this turn, or Koma gains indestructible. So if you got enough coils, you could tap like all of their dudes down, just march in, do whatever you want. So that's Koma. And that's all of the cards we have in the deck other than lands. Let's take a look at lands. We've got Cave of the Frost Giant, Hall of the Storm Giants, or Cave of the Frost Dragon, Hall of the Storm Giants. So there we have, and we got a Lair of the Hydra. So we have 3-man lands. Looks like it's just a single of each one. We got Ian Ganjo from Kamigawa, which does 4 damage to target blocking or attacking creature. We got Soaring City from Kamigawa, which bounces back an artifact creature enchantment or planeswalker to its owner's hand. And we got Boseiju, which is green Kamigawa land, which destroys target artifact enchantment or non-basic land. Yep. So yeah, I've used this to take out man lands. That's pretty awesome when that works out for you. We've got, what do we got? We got some basic lands here. I don't see any basic plains. It's just island and fort. It's like just one of each, really. Crazy. We got some fast dual lands. We got more fast dual lands, and some slow as hell tri-lands. But they have the ability to be cycled if you're not caring about mana. How much mana do we have in this deck? We've got 24. This thing has an average of 3.3 for mana rate, which ain't bad. So let's take this deck out and see how well it does. And we're going against xMFHxLOVEScake. All right, we got 2 3 mana. Ooh, just barely. Let's keep it. Let's see. Any green in there? Not at all. Maybe this was a mistake. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the blue then, since I don't know if I'm going to get any green. Jwari Disruption might be my only course of action here. All right, we'll go for a nice white. We'll start with the Suspicious Stowaway. That's it. She is quite suspicious. All right, let's look into the future. It's just countering something. No blocks. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to counter that. And green. All right. Prosperous Innkeeper, which gets us up to 4. Well, well, well. I wonder what 4 can give us. Nope. We're cool. If I do this, then I will. Who cares? It's just a Sentinel. Life. All right, we're done. No attacks. Do I want to give up on one of these two? You got it, Jason. You got to do it, Dr. Suckett. I'm going to give up on this one. What do I got here? Not enough white, I'll tell you that. All right, fish, calm me down. Yeah, he's going after the Esika's Chariot. And I do not have enough to keep it from happening. We're green up. Give ourselves a big boy. And let's take it in for 3. Still left myself wide open with no control whatsoever. What you're going to do, MFH, Whoop. All right. Can I play this at any time? That sounds like fun. Let's just do that. Who are we going to send in? Super Bear? Alright, we're pretending like we can't do anything. He's got Death Touch, though. I almost don't care. Alright, I still can't play Wandering Emperor. I could definitely bounce something with a Soaring City. And I got a counterspell. Right, he doesn't have one additional mana. I think he knows there's a trick. He can feel it. He can sense it. It's a trap. It's a trap. No, MFH. Don't do it. It's a trap. Whoa, whoa. All right, lay it down. You got a bunch of mana there. And I cannot do anything with Jwari Disruption. That's not good. Here's a white, though. Gotta get up into battle zone time here. Ooh, that's not bad. Alright, so we'll put out another... I guess I already put out a land, didn't I? Alright, now if you want to get spiders, you're going to have to kill the queen. I'm good. Wandering Emperor sounds like a pretty good deal. Kill the queen, kill the queen, kill the queen, kill the queen. And we win! Overwhelming force leads to victory. And we're playing against an NPC, a non-player character. And what do we got here? 3 mana, I like it. Looks good. Let's keep it. Alright, start off with white. Who do you want to give them first? I kind of want 2 whites. So it looks like we're playing green off of this one here. And there was a Gala Greeter. Looks like I might have to start making some treasure tokens is what I might have to do. Let's see, this goes after mana value, so no matter how big she gets, I'll be good. Treasure! Alright, a good Doomskar could really ruin their day. I kind of have to save it until way late though, when they get all their stuff out. Because this only cost me 2. It's only cost me 3 mana to be able to kill that, no matter how big it gets. All right, Sleepy, you're the speed bump. All right, let's see. Everything I need is so white right now. We're gonna white up. 1, 2. You're gonna protect it? That would be bad. Do have the ability to counterspell though. Non-creature spell. That looks a lot like where am I going after there? Tamio's Safekeeping. There you go, Suckerfish. All attack. Go get him, Blue Elf. And we win. Suck it, NPC. Suck it. Victory! Alright, I'm playing against, what is it, Thanazrael? Okay. We got 1, 2 mana. Alright, let's keep it. Funny part is everything in my hand costs 2. Everything. I just got to pick up another white somewhere along the way. Got out a Gala Greeter. And he could put out a white, provided he can live through the turn. And he does. There's a couple for me. We'll take a treasure token and another treasure token. And we're going for the attack. What a jerk. Alright, well, you're making that Doomskar feel a lot easier. Suspicious Stowaway. See you later, my friend. I gotta save those Doomskars. I'll probably have to cock both of them. If I do that, though, I will... shit, there's another one. Alright, I'm cool. You can't play it on the turn that you put it in there? Alright, whatever. This guy's going for discarding. I think that guy's a miller. Yeah, he's going to love the Doomskar. Alright, here we go. And... white. Another Doomskar. That is insane. Alright, we're playing the game. Got some skin in there. We're going to be able to delay this thing for quite a long time. Alright, we got 4 mana. We got 2 white without the treasure. We're still okay. That guy is a super jerk, and that's the guy that's going to kill him for us. Let's go ahead and pump things up. I need lots of white. Let's white up. There we go. All right, and we're good to go. Don't worry, Wrenn. You look like a target, but you're not. Inox Scavenger's going to have to tap to attack, and at that point, dead. Lost it. That was my favorite. No! Alright, so the flyer is going to be a pain in my butt. Let's put it out as a green. I'm thinking about treeing up at this point. Let's just do that. See you later, Wrenn. Your children will live on. And let's go ahead and pump them up. Let's put out Esika's Chariot. And we have done everything we could do. Possibly too much. We have somebody who can block a flyer. Eat that dungeon crap. And guess who's not going to do anything? My turn. Ooh, just Jwari Disruption. I love that. Except for the fact that he probably has plenty of mana for this crap. Let's... Yeah, I should have been watching the Wandering Emperor there. Alright, got him down to 10. Let's go ahead and pump up Senor Snotty Pants there. Alright, we're ready to go with the Jwari Disruption. Do something big. Play it all out. Use all your mana. You got plenty of mana for that, though. Unfortunately... Yeah, I'm going to just lose that. That's fine. I should have prepped another Doomskar is what I should have done. Alright, here's number 1. Here's number 2. All right, looks like we're starting to lose sound effects again. I thought that had finally been fixed after the update today, but that did not happen. Intern. All right, I'm expecting him to quit at this point. And there we go. Whoopoo! Winner, winner, victory dinner. All right, so this is the BANT deck. I did pick it up off of Aether Hub. and this is exactly as it came. You'll find the link to the deck as well as the deck list in the description below. And I got to say that this deck ended up being a powerhouse, an incredible deck that did a very good job. Who was the real hero here? Let's take a look. Is anybody in particular a hero? I mean, it's leveraging the there's a lot of things going on here, right? But it was leveraging Esika's Chariot and Wrenn and Seven, trying to make those tree folk babies. That was fantastic, right? But that's just that particular combo. Oh man, I wish I would have got out the Avabruck Caretaker. That would have been really, really nice. I was unaware it was even in here. You know which ones just kind of sucked? It was the Negates and the Jwari Disruption. It's probably because this deck had a lot of opportunity to play things, and I was didn't have the mana. I didn't have the mana. I usually played it. I didn't save anything in reserve. And that might just be a Dr. Suckit problem where I'm a little too aggressive on playing. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm not particularly good with counter spells, is because I don't usually have mana around to use them on somebody else's turn. Wow, Elspeth is even in here. That's crazy. Another card that I thought did fantastic, I was surprised at how often it came up, Doomskar. That gave me lots of time, a lot of control over the tempo of the game. People start flooding stuff out, and then you just wipe the board, which then gives you lots of opportunities. So, yeah, so this deck is just, it's uniformly good. There's a lot of ways that it just works. You know, Gala Greeters and Prosperous Innkeeper, giving you the ability to have lots of life and treasure tokens early on, really helps you to get yourself into a good place to get everything else working for you. So let's talk about this deck. Is it competitive? And it's not an S tier deck. You know, you're not winning the 75% of the time. It's more in the mid 50s. Let's see what my personal rating is for this deck right now. 63% win rate. And it does better on play than on the draw. So yeah, 76 on play, 60%, or 67 on play, 60 on draw. That's over the course of 8 matches. So, you know, it's not the most competitive deck out there, but it is a solid deck, a very solid deck. So I'm going to say yes, it's competitive. It's not going to be a tournament winner, let's put it that way. Secondly, is it a fun deck? And I'd say yes. Yeah, it was a fun deck. There was a lot of good things going on, and you got an opportunity to play it. And lastly, is there a theme to the deck? And I have to say no. No, there was no theme to this deck. It's just a loose collection of stuff. I mean, the only theme to it is BANT, right? It's just blue, white, and green. And as a matter of fact, let's take a look. Why is there even blue in here? I mean, the good thing is Suspicious Stowaway, because she is a card draw engine that you get out early. Nobody can block her, and she's just 1 point of damage, draw a card. 1 point of damage, draw a card. So that's worth it. And then rolling ourselves up into Koma, the Cosmos Serpent. Man, if you can keep this guy alive and have him avoid some exiles, then you're in a good shape, right? So there you go. I'm going to give this deck no points. In fact, negative points for theme. For fun, I'm going to give it a big check mark. And for competitiveness, I'm going to say yeah. So I'm going to give this deck just a solid A. It's a good deck. It's worth playing. And I think you're going to like it. So, if you end up playing this deck, I hope you had as much fun as I did. Alright, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Later.